It's a clash of the Spartans and Saxons on this football field edition of the Sports Desk. Can North stop the Loera running machine? It's more Pioneer League action with Torrance hosts Lawndale, and this stellar back runs up the touchdowns on the scoreboard. Plus, on the volleyball court, the El Camino women's volleyball team continues its domination as they strive for the state tournament. In prep volleyball, it's one Bishop against another as Bishop Montgomery seals their postseason fate. The Sports Desk dives into the chances for all the teams fighting into the postseason. Get fired up because it starts right now. It's finally winter weather here in Southern California, so that means one thing. It's playoff time. I'm Bonnie Prickitt, and you're watching the Sports Desk. We've got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. The Spartans' running game is led by Brandon Loera. He's gaining more than just yardage. It's more like respect from opponents. The North Saxons defense surely worked him into their strategy. South is in a four-way tie for first place going into this game, and the Saxons' postseason chances are bleak. But they wouldn't mind the feather in the cap if they could take this one down against South. Sarah Peeler reports.
So we're at South's opening drive. That's Brandon Loera. He runs down to the North 41. There's a holding penalty on South. They have to move back 5 yards, but 2 plays later, 1st and 10, Kyle Nesbitt hands off to John Seco, who runs for 26 yards. First down, Spartans. Now it's 2nd and goal. That's Brandon Chavez. He gets the touchdown. The extra point is no good, so South leads 6-0 in the first. Saxons driving from their 18. That's George Hernandez, who links up with Devontae Jenkins for the big 25-yard gain. Now that's Johnny Lawrison with the carry down to the Spartan 36. A few plays later, Lawrison with the carry again. The ball's knocked out, but Michael Gerardo lands on it in the end zone. Touchdown North with 3:28 to play in the first. North leads 7-6. Now in the second quarter, 1st and 10. That's Brandon Loera. He picks up the 8 yards. Now 2nd and 2 on the Spartan 46. Nesbitt with the ball, scrambling to avoid the tackle, but he fumbles the ball. North recovers. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Now it's 3rd and 5 for the Saxons. George Hernandez with the keeper picks up a first down for North. Now 1st and 10 on the 20. Cameron Emmanuel picks up 12 yards to the 8. On 4th and goal, Joey Wolf kicks, but it goes right, and it's no good, so that's the end of the first half. Now in the third quarter, North is driving. Hernandez avoids the sack, but he connects with a wide-open Devontae Jenkins. He'll have a 75-yard touchdown run. North leads 13-6. Saxons line up for the extra point, but it's blocked by South. Spartans trail by only 1 score. South is driving. Brandon Loera caught in traffic, but then he breaks free, and he'll end up scoring his first touchdown of the night. The extra point is good, so the game is tied at 13 with under 9 to play in the third quarter. North looking to answer back. It's 4th down on the Spartan 45. Hernandez throws long to find Michael Gerardo for his 2nd touchdown of the night. But check this out, Spartans block the extra point again, their 2nd of the night. Now North leads 19-13 with 4:37 left in the third. South driving from the Saxon 48, and that's Brandon Loera again with his 2nd touchdown. Extra points good. South takes the lead, 20-19. Start of the fourth quarter, score is the same. Here we go again, you've seen this twice already. Brandon Loera getting his 3rd touchdown of the night. He would have 1 more to finish with 40 seconds left. South wins 34-19.
The results are not what we want, but we're right there. It's a typical crosstown, hard-fought matchup, and they got the better of us in the end.
I felt like I did a good job. The line did amazing. They made big open holes, and I ran straight through them. Our receivers did a great job blocking the outside guys, and they made big plays. I mean, the pass game opened up our run game really good. So, I mean, that's what happened. It made me have 4 touchdowns.
I thought they played hard tonight, you know, and North played extremely hard too. That was a well-fought game. It usually is every year with us in North, so it usually comes down to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter.
This crosstown rivalry was a battle the whole way through, but the real story was Brandon Loera. He had 4 touchdowns tonight that brought South their win over North 34-19. South now gears up to play El Segundo next week. They control their own destiny for the playoffs. Reporting from South High School, I'm Sarah Pila for the Sports Desk.
Thanks, Sarah, and Ed, the photographer, braving that rain. The Spartan 34-19 win over North was brought to you by running back Brandon Loera. He had a total of 357 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another Brandon Chavez, to be exact. Spartan Brandon Chavez scored the only other touchdown. Saxon QB George Hernandez racked up 341 total yards. His receiving core of Devontae Jenkins and Michael Harada both scored a touchdown. North plays Torrance for their last game of the season. South will travel to El Segundo for their final game. This game has Pioneer League implications. Across town at Zamperini Stadium, the 2-1 Tartars host the 0-4 Cardinals from Lawndale. Torrance is fighting for its share of the Pioneer League title, so they have to keep Lawndale's running game down. The rain was coming down sideways, but it didn't stop the players from playing. Let's go to the middle of the first quarter when the score is 14-13 Torrance. From the Cardinal 47-yard line, it's second down and 17 yards to go. Tartar Quaco runs deep into the Lawndale red zone for the first down. Several plays later, it's third down and 12 yards to go, and quarterback Jacob Kalama is going to hit Tyrone Taylor in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown, 21-13 Tartars. The Tartars made a lot of small yard plays and then just exploded for touchdowns. And Jacob Kalama had 2 passes on the night, and both of them were completions for touchdowns, like this one, all the way to Adam Dahl up the seam, 54 yards. For the touchdown. The Tartars are now up 28-14. There's just 2 minutes right before halftime, and Lawndale's William Self is going to manage a first down all the way to the Tartar 22-yard line. It's now first and goal. The Cardinals quarterback sneak into the end zone, and Lawndale closes that gap even more. 28-25 Tartars at halftime. No more rain in the second half. We'll jump right to the second play of the second half. And on their own 38-yard line, it's going to be Tyrone Taylor again. Same play. He just keeps running this one in for a touchdown. 62 yards to the house. It's 35-25 Lawndale. It's back and forth game. Nice cheerleaders there keeping dry finally. 42-32 Torrance. Tyrone decides he's not a fan of the 10 points that separates them, and on a 2nd and 7, he scores 57 yards, outrunning their lead 49-32. Brock Hollis is focused and most likely thinking of ways to keep down that Lawndale run game, though maybe he's coming up with another play for Tyrone, and Tyrone Taylor here is going to seal the deal. Same exact play they keep running for the final touchdown. This one is 38 yards. Put the Torrance Tartars' final score, 56-47 for the win. And they are definitely going to the postseason, but really, they are working on trying to get to that Pioneer League title. Let's see what Tyrone Taylor has to say about his teammates.
I'm really confident in my line. They block great every single game, every single play. They go hard, and it's a pleasure to have them on my team.
The Tartars are now 3-1 in the Pioneer League, getting them right in the fight for the top spot. Tyrone Taylor was a force behind this win. He scored 6 touchdowns. He was also helped out by his teammates, though, and his O-line, as he liked to quote there. Running backs Quaco and Adam Dahl helped seal the win over Lawndale. Torrance plays North for their final regular season game. Also in the fight for the top spots in the Pioneer League, you see El Segundo beat Centennial in a close game of 21-20. Don't forget that South will go to the Gundo for their last regular season game. Centennial plays Lawndale. In the Bay League, though, we have the West Warriors. They got a well-deserved win against Peninsula. 45-19, quarterback Joey Knott completed 16 of his 25 passes. 3 of them were touchdowns. Running back Nick Roos had 3 touchdowns as well, with a total of 280 yards. And tight end Matt Sposen also had a touchdown. West will host Lusinger for this last regular season game. The Knights running back Michael Turner led them to a win, 35-20 over LaSalle. Michael Turner ties a school record with these awesome stats. 43 carries, talk about a workhorse. Quarterback Louis Soto threw for 4 completions in the game. And Beamani hosts St. Bernard's for that Delray League Championship. We will definitely be there for that game. El Camino traveled up to the Central Coast to play Allen Hancock College. They won with a final score of 38-14. Omar Herrera once again was on target, and a great game with a total of 372 yards and 3 touchdowns, all in the first half. Wide receiver Lucknow Brady and running backs Peter Walton and A.J. Johnson led the offensive attack. And the Warriors defense keeps getting better. They kept Allen Hancock to 114 rushing yards. They also posted 3 sacks against their opponents. The Warriors host Ventura for their last regular season game. The Sports Desk will have the coverage for you. The competition is coming to a head for all of these teams. In the Pioneer League, the Spartans, the Tartars, and the Eagles are all trying to get to the Pioneer League crown. So look out for some good football action. The El Camino women's volleyball team is dynamite in their South Coast Conference domination with an 11-0 record. This week they are taking on Long Beach, who are looking to expose the Lady Warriors' vulnerable side. Ryan Fournier takes us through the Lady Warriors wake-up call.
The El Camino College Warriors have been a juggernaut this year. 16-2 overall record, 9-0 in Southern Coast Conference play. Look to keep the streak continuing as they have not lost a match since late September, haven't even dropped a single game through the month of October. Let's see if they can keep the streak continuing against Long Beach City College. In Game 1, it was all Long Beach City College's. Right here, Danielle Tutazi with a kill, setting the tone for this Vikings team. Very next play, Tutazi with an ace. El Camino College came out a little flat in this Game 1. The outside hitters struggled to connect on their attacks as the Vikings came into this game really fired up. And also, communication problems struck the Warriors in this Game 1. They tied it at one point, got a little close, but in the end, the Vikings pull up the victory in Game 1, 25-19. This is the first time that El Camino has dropped a single game since the end of September. Coach Pattison needing to make some adjustments if they want to keep this win streak going. Long Beach City College is looking fired up. In Game 2, El Camino needed to make a statement, and they did, starting with defense. The big block by Tuila Barnes and Lauren Edwards. It was all El Camino in this Game 2, a big difference from Game 1. Set by Sarah McFadden and the kill by Taryn Lua-Falamania. As right here, Tuila Barnes tops it off. Game 2 victory goes to El Camino 25-9, but Long Beach City College still feeling like they're in this match. Game 3 action, El Camino on top. Taryn Lua-Falamania with a big kill. It's all El Camino in this Game 3. Look at the effort by Keely Stevenson saving it from going out of bounds. And miscue by the Vikings, the point for El Camino. And finishing off this Game 3, Nigeria Owens slams it down. 25-17 victory. Game 3, Coach Pattison and the Warriors have them right where they want them. Moving right into Game 4, El Camino continues to roll. Here's the tip by Caitlin Edwards. Big shot right there. Up big in this Game 4. More defense, the block by the sister Lauren Edwards. And right here, another tip. Lauren Edwards can't recover. Vikings lose. Big win, 3-1 for El Camino.
In the first game, we were kind of slow. We weren't ready to play yet, but as we came along the next 3 games, we were ready to compete, and we showed up. She just told us that we need to show up. We need to play, we need to pass, better communication, and just play as a team.
We just talked about focusing on the basics, focusing on the pass, and trying to hit over the block instead of hitting into the block every time. We needed to cover and just go back to basics.
The Lady Warriors found themselves in a position that they hadn't been in since September 23rd, down 1-0. But they came back after Coach Pattison made a lineup change, changing out the outside hitters. They played very well in the next 3 games, winning 3-1 to win the match. They move on to 17-2 overall and still on top of the South Coast Conference. Reporting from El Camino College with the Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Fournier.
Thanks to Ryan Fournier for the breakdown. The Warriors' continued domination sets them up for what's surely the conference crown. Lauren Edwards and Sarah McFadden led the team in this match. They have 2 more matches left before the playoffs.